Hey everyone, welcome back to Redbanditracing. Welcome back to the channel. This video we got the E-Revo 2.0 and we're going to be replacing the hubs. Now, we might be replacing the hubs. We've had some issues with the boots tearing and a lot of slop in the suspension, especially the wheels. And these pivot balls, as you can see, they're very loose. And what happens is they get out of adjustment. When those boots tear, which I have a couple boots right here, as you can see, they just tear off, and that can happen really, really easily because of how thin these things are. When they tear, dirt and stuff can get in there. It can grind away at the ball, and when the ball gets indents and grooves, it's gonna start destroying the plastic, and then it just starts wearing out. So the bearings and everything look okay in this. Everything looks fine. Everything sounds fine. But we're gonna go ahead and check this out. We're gonna do all four. We may replace the hubs, we may not. If we do, we have extras for the front and the rear. They are all the same part number, so 8635 will take care of all of them, front and rear. That's kind of nice, really convenient. As far as the seals go and the adjuster cups that go over the pivot balls, that's going to be 5378X. And you're going to want two sets because each package will do 4, which means you need a total of 8. So you need 2 packs to do them all. Now, if I find any of the pivot balls that are worn, we're gonna go ahead and replace them. 4933, these are the pivot balls that you're gonna need. And this service is just 4. So technically you would also need 2 packs of these if you were doing the whole car. So we're gonna jump right into it. You're gonna need your special 4-way tool for this because it has the special splines on it. Looks like a little castle crown. That's what's gonna help remove the pivot ball caps from these, and I'll show you exactly what that is. You may need either your 2.0 or your 2.5 driver and some kind of SOS pad, something that'll clean up the pivot balls or the axles if you guys just want to clean them up, either get the rust off or just try and get some of the grooves out of it and shine it up. If we can't get it clean, we're just going to replace them. So let's go jump right into it. I've never done this before, so let's see what I'm working with. All right, so we already have these out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this other one out. And what you're going to do is you're going to lift up on the suspension in order to get that pivot ball out. Otherwise, it's going to be at a bad angle and you're not going to be able to get it out. Just like this one right here. All right, got that one out. All right, so we got those out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the truck aside. You're gonna take this tool right here and you're gonna use that crowned end because inside here, you can see the indents. That fits right in there. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna unscrew the cap. Just like that, and there's the cup. Then you're able to take the pivot ball and put the pivot ball out. And there you go. So you can check these out. I mean, it really doesn't look that bad. You can just clean this up a little bit. As for these will typically wear out because that's where all the dirt and debris get in there. And then that pivot ball grinds all that up and it could really start ruining that. We're gonna take these apart and let's see which ones are more worn out than the other ones. All right, now as far as these seals go, you can take a pick or a screwdriver or anything like that. And you're gonna wanna pull up on one end just like that and they come off. So it pretty much just snaps over the end and it holds this seal on. As you can see, all these seals are really torn. So we're gonna put those aside. These actually are in good shape. These just hold it on. These typically don't break. I've never seen these break. I've always seen the rubber tear off. Let's take those off and kind of just see how this looks. Just pop it off just like that. See, this one kind of came off with it. Going to take that seal off. And oh, this one still has the boots in it. You can leave those boots in while you take them out and service them. You don't have to remove those. Those are just the dust boots to help keep more debris out the front. And the way those work is, I believe it's your 2.5. So your 2.5 would go right inside there like that. Just like that. So you can go ahead and adjust your pivot ball. So it looks just like that. So you want to leave those in. If you lose these, go ahead and replace them. Make sure you put them back in. They just pop in just like that. Trying to see if anything looks worn out of the ordinary, and this one does. Kind of looks worn right on the edges right here. Trying to see on the inside, see if I see any wear there. I don't see too much right there. Yeah, the kit just comes with those pieces and the pivot balls. The pivot balls actually come with these little ones, and you're not going to use those because that might be for a dip line application. I wonder if this is the one I got for the Revo. I'm not sure, but it's the same thing as the E-Revo. So I'm going to open up one of these. We may not use it, but I just want to kind of see it because I have not looked at these. Let's see what a brand new one looks like. Well, here's the brand new one. Let's kind of look at an old one so we can kind of see the difference here. Yeah. I mean, you can see where the wear is. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to tell. I'm holding it right here. I'll zoom in. This is squared off. As you can see right here, there's some wear right here and some right here. On this one, it's on the inside, but not on the outside. And you can see the new one. There's no wear. So if you guys look at them side by side, I'll kind of zoom in. Yeah, I'm going to shut this door right here because the neighbors are getting kind of loud. Neighbor kids. But yeah, let's go ahead and I kind of want to go ahead and replace them. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put these aside and we're just going to go replace them, guys. Let's just go for it. I was going to do them individually, but I thought, you know what, let's put brand new ones on. We'll kind of inspect the old ones later, maybe save some as backups. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do one for you guys, and then I'm going to do the rest off camera so I can at least show you how to do it. And I'll be learning as we go because I need to learn how to do this too. So, all right, so first thing we're going to do, yeah, you're going to get your 2.5 and you got to take that out. Now the easiest way to take this out is get your hex wrench right there. Go on the inside. Loosen that up. Once that's loose, I'm going to take that off. And you can push that pin out. Once that pin's out, you can take that off. There's a grub screw right there. It's a 2.0. And that's how you're going to do it, just like the Sledge and the bigger cars. So we're going to clean all this stuff up as we go. Let's go and push this out. We're going to clean all this up. And the best way to clean this up, I'm going to show you how. To get these out, you kind of be careful, especially on the big ones. Use a big wrench, like this guy right here. That we can get in there because it's the size of the bearing. And you can kind of just push the bearing out. That way you're not hurting the seal and you're hitting on the bearing right there. That way it's a little bit easier to get out, just like the outer ones. You can kind of just carefully catch the lip of the bearing and pop it out, just like that. All right, now we got that out and this thing's completely taken apart. Just kind of looking at it, seeing if everything's worn on it. Yeah, honestly, I don't see anything around here where the bearing sits. I only see it where the pivot balls are. And you know what? He's been bashing this thing real hard. So the fact that these aren't more worn out or any of these are more damaged, I'm really surprised because he bashes this pretty hard. This is his favorite RC car, without a doubt. So we're going to make sure that thing's running right. And we're going to make sure this thing's nice and maintained. So, all right, we're going to put that aside. Let's go ahead and clean up these bearings. I'm not going to spray them with anything. Those don't feel good, guys. I do not like that. It's kind of rough. Let's check this one. Sometimes it's hard to get these bearings really clean. Just get them as clean as you can. This one's pretty grindy too. I'm not sure the last time these were actually replaced. So what I'm going to have to do is let me check a couple part numbers and see if we actually have them. Let me go check on that. All right, guys, so I'm looking at my diagram right here. I'll start doing this more with you guys if you like this. If you guys like looking at the diagrams with me, I'll start doing that more if that helps you guys, in case you guys have trouble understanding how the diagram works. This is pretty easy to understand if you know what you're looking for. So obviously The front and the rear are going to be the same, so it doesn't matter if I'm on the rear assembly or the front assembly, which is the front assembly, so it doesn't matter. We're going to go right here because this is what we're looking at, 8635. That's going to be our hub. Right here is our bearing. That's going to be a 17 by 26. That's going to be a 5107A, which on the shelf, I have 4 of them. Let's look right here. The inner bearing, that's going to be an 8 by 16. That's going to be a 5118. 5118. I have 2. I might have another set somewhere. So I'm going to look through my bearings just in case we're going to need more. All right, so let's go through this real quick. See if I have any. Let's see here, 5118. That looks like a 5120. 5118, right there. As you guys can see, I got a lot of bearings. I'm actually running low. Usually I have way more than this, but these are all typically our screws, all of our extra bearings and hubs. So this is a great way to organize your parts. So 5118, we're going to put that aside just in case we're going to use them. Those are Fast Eddy bearings. I like those because they're a lot cheaper. Because especially if you got a lot of cars, you go through bearings, it's a good idea to keep them handy. So now we have 4, which means we have enough to do them all. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's rip these open. That's going to be a 5107A. Right there. Let's go ahead and grab the other one. That's going to be a 5118. You may see the difference there, blue and black. Don't worry too much about that. That has something to do, not with the bearing itself, but it's just the type of seal. Maybe it's the type of weather seal, but I've never had a problem with black seals. We also don't run our cars in rain a whole lot. So, but Fast Eddies, man, you can get like a 10 pack like this for $10. Whereas if you want to buy them individually from Traxxas, they're $6.50 for 2. So as you can see, that's going to be a much better deal. So I would definitely do that. All right, so we got our new bearings. We're going to take those old ones, put them aside. Got our new ones. Now we have to clean this up. I got a Scotch pad right here. Put these right over here so I don't get hit. Got a Scotch pad, paper towel. Let's go ahead and get this cleaned up. So what we're going to do here, take a little bit of cleaner. Spray it on there. Now you should wear gloves, so I'm going to put some gloves on. All right, so we got a little brake cleaner on there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze it like that around it and turn it. Through the top. Look at the difference in that. Nice and clean. Just if you're trying to get a little bit of rust off. Clean the dog bones, just like that. That looks nice and clean. I'm not going to replace these pins because you just don't need to, but I'm going to clean them up. These are a little harder to clean. There you go. And same thing with the pivot balls. If we can get these clean, we're going to keep them. So, get a little more brake clean. Either brake clean or parts clean will work just fine with this. Do one more. There we go. Now we're just going to clean it off. That's nice and clean. That's clean. We've got our new bearings. Now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and get our new hub, which is this guy right here. Let's finish opening up the pack so we can get the rest of the parts out. All right. So we have our seal retainers is what I'm going to call them because they pretty much retain the seal. Okay, now let's go and open this pack right here. That's, like I said, 5378. As always, everything will be in the description. Typically, I'll give you guys Traxxas links. If you guys haven't noticed, I'll give you Traxxas links. Or sometimes I'll give you like Amy and Hobbies. All right, so we got those right there. We got 2 of these, 2 seals. Put these aside because we don't need these. These are for another one. Okay, and we have 2 plugs. So these are all the parts that you're going to need. So let's go ahead and put one together. So what we're going to do first here is let's go ahead and put the seal on. And the best way to put the seal on is, I've seen that a lot of people put the seal on first, which I think that's a great idea. Because there's no harm in putting the seal on first, just like that. Hope you guys saw that. Let me take it back off because I feel like I was off camera. Just like that, carefully. You're not really gonna press. You just kind of like rotate it on. That's it. That's really all it is. It's really, doesn't really feel like a really secure seal. Now this, it's got a hook on it. So you're gonna hook one side, then you're gonna bring it over until it hooks on the other side. And there you go. That is literally it. Now, this is the part of the design of the E-Revo that I don't like, and it's the same with the Revo. This just doesn't seem very, secure. Like, come on, really, that's it? Like, that's supposed to keep all the dust out? I just don't like it. Let me pop this one off. I want to make sure I got that back side on. Yeah, I got it on. You want to make sure that seal is pinched all the way down on all sides. All right, so that's how it's going to look. Again, I don't like the design. You guys can go off-roading and hit a rock, hit a piece of bark, and tear this seal. This is so thin. You got to be careful not to tear it. We're going to go ahead and put the pivot ball in. The pivot ball, what you're going to want to do is get your driver. Okay, oops, it's your 2.5. Get your 2-point driver, put it in, and you're going to want to get through the back side, and you're going to want to kind of screw it in. Like that, there. Make sure you hold the seal while you try and push and screw it in, like that. And get that seal all the way down. And there you go. Get it all the way down until you get to this bottom shank right here. So let's do the same thing to the other one. There we go. I'm kind of pushing the seal down as I turn it. And there you go. That one's all the way down. Yeah, I just don't like that design because, I mean, even when you're turning it, I mean, you could damage it. And no, guys, do not put grease on this. I should have said that before, but if you haven't done it already, glove squeaking over here. Don't put grease on there. Grease is just going to attract more dirt. Don't do that. If you're going to put something in there, put graphite. Put a little bit of graphite powder in there. That'll work great. It'll help free it up and offer a little bit more play in there, and it's good for it. Do not put grease in there. Grease will definitely be good, like okay for it, like it'll help it move, but the amount of dirt that's gonna get stuck in there, you're just gonna wear these out. You're gonna wear them out really fast. Don't do it. No grease. No grease, WD-40, any kind of lubricant like that, don't put it in there. Make sure it's a dry lubricant. All right, now that we've got that in there, now we got these guys. So now, let's go and take these, and we're gonna put the new ones in here. You're just gonna have to work them in there. Sometimes you can take a pick. If you can carefully just take your pick, you're not gonna poke it. You're just kind of squeezing in there. Just like that. So you kind of get it started. Take your pick and just fold the ends in to get them through. Like that. And it should look just like this. All right. All right, so now we got those in there. I'm gonna take our driver. We'll put them on just like that. Let's go ahead and screw them in. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go all the way in until it stops. As you notice, it's gonna be locked. So go all the way until it stops and then back off like a quarter turn. See how it's nice and loose? You can do the same thing to the other side. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put on the car and we're gonna adjust from there. And there you go. That one's built. Now let's go and put our Put our bearings back in. Just like that. That looks nice and clean now. Let's go put our axle in. Axle's all the way in. That's all the way in. Get our hex hub right here. And we're going to line that up so we can put the pin in. All right, we're going to put that in. Now with that, we're going to make sure that that's nice in there flat, just like that. Going to go to our tool here. Remember where I put it? I put it back. All right. All right, now put that in right there. All right, going to make sure we hold this. You don't have to crank it, just give it a good snug, and there you go. A little bit of play right there, and that's probably because these need to be serviced. These axles are starting to get worn out. That's okay, but that's much smoother. That's much smoother. And there you go. That one's completely rebuilt. It's all set to go. Let me go ahead and get all the other ones done. I'll get them mounted on the car, and then we'll do our final adjustment. But as you can see right now, it's not tearing, it's not spinning, it's going on just fine. The trick to get these on is get that one started. Once that one's started, get this one ready. Whoop, can't get this, oops. There we go. Then you're gonna go and put the axle in. Once you know the axle's in, you're gonna lift up on the arm because you need it straight. If it's crooked at a slant, you're not gonna be able to screw it in. So go in slow, make sure that seal doesn't twist and tear. As you can see, if you back off a little bit, it straightens out. Oh, there you go. Now the seal is perfect. So you're gonna go in just like that. You're gonna go on the bottom one. I'm gonna go in just enough to where I can adjust it later. What you want is pull that seal back and make sure the threads are all the way in where you just see that shank. And that's good. Yes, the seal is not really pulling out right there, but once you drive it around, it will kind of push itself out. And let me show you guys the other side. As you can see, the rear right here, just like that. That one looks good. That one looks pretty good too. And we'll, like I said, you got to do the final adjustment when you guys are all done and the tires are on. Because that way you guys can see how much the tire is leaning and if you guys need to do any additional adjustments. Now that that's on, now what we're going to want to do is I want to push this up. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get this in frame for you. You're going to want to lift this arm up so it's straight. And you're going to want to tighten this to where it's snug. And as you can see, it's not bending a whole lot. Once it's snug, back it off a little bit, and now you can see it's moving. You kind of want to do that to all of them while it's on. Like that. See, now that's nice and free. That one's actually really good. Let's go ahead and put this final arm on. And these should go on. These go on very, very simple. Usually you struggle with some of these, but these ones you don't really have to. You don't have to squeeze them in. They go in really nice. All right. And you gotta want to have a look at it from the side. Look at it from the side view. Make sure that pivot ball is moving up and down. You don't want it straining. If it's straining, you're just gonna wear it out. All right, so now it's level on the ground and the camber, actually the camber looks right on. You kind of want the rear wheels to tilt in a little bit. So I'm gonna tilt this one in just a little bit more. Let's tilt that one in. I always forget what size it is. All right. All right, just a little bit. All right, and that looks really good. That was actually not a terrible job. It just took a little bit of time, make sure everything was clean and replace all the parts and did some little bit of inspection. This thing's ready to go. This thing's a beast. This car is an absolute beast. Oh, look at that. As it goes back, the body comes back. So maybe that's what's going on. Oh, you know what? Guys, I think it's the back, something in the back here. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Found the problem, guys. Now, this is probably my fault because we were out practicing for Clash. We were practicing pretty hard. Man, that video is gonna come out. I think he's working on it right now. I launched that sledge from the pitcher's mound past second base. So I was really hitting that ramp hard. That sledge is gonna be a lot of fun. The mountain broke. As you can see right there, that actually broke, and that is exactly why that body's popping off. It has nothing to do with that body. So let's see what we got up here. Nope, looks like we have the back support for the shocks. Actually, we have the front support. We have the front support, we don't have the back. Okay, we're gonna have to order that. We'll make sure that we get that in, get that replaced, because that's exactly why the body's popping off. So we can't go run this anymore until that's replaced. You don't wanna run that without it, because if the body keeps popping off, you know, you don't want to crash it and have the body come off and then you hit one of your electronics or do some damage like that. So you don't want to run it like that. We're going to make sure we go ahead and get that replaced. So yeah, I hope that video was helpful. I hope it was informative. That's the first time that I've had to do this. I thought it was pretty fun. Will's going to do it next time. That way he knows how to do it. But yeah, all the parts will be down in the description. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, please. It really helps out the channel. We're really growing fast with all your guys' help. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.